God bless you. God bless you. Minister Pat Williams, will you come here, please? First, I want to thank you and the youth of our ministry for sending me a liberal donation to these children, Native American children, and making them aware of more than just their community needs. That here are children that are on a reservation that really, I don't understand it. I'm not going to say comment on it, but I don't like the United States of America taking a position of taking natives and putting them in a reservation in 2018. I'm disturbed by that. And then we're going to put border walls up. I think we're going backwards. And we need saints need to start praying us forward. Because I told you, America, this is no reflection on anybody, but it's the spirit of prophet in me that says, America is sick with cancer. And it's in intensive care stage. I may not be here, but you're going to see a change in this country that's going to blow your mind. Because God gave us a chance. Go to 911 and see if that was not a warning. And everybody started flocking to the churches and synagogues right after that. But now it's going back to the same old. You and these children are being made aware of it's more to them just living. There's some children that are of Native Americans that were here before whoever that man was to come here. I won't call no names. I ain't calling no names and bear no blame. But it wasn't somebody came here. I don't know what they discovered, but they discovered some land. And they discovered how to do their thing because England had cast out the poor folk. I'm talking history, know what I'm talking about. I'm not popular, it's all right with me. Pull out the poor folk, and they came and got to Africa and got with our leaders in Africa, and the leaders sold our people. Goya Allen, I was talking about that other day. Have you ever been there? He said, yes. I said, I've been there. Yes, the spirits are still there. You can feel it. The slaves are sold. Men stacked on top of each other in a little hole that was designed for just 200 people. 1,000 of them on top of each other. I know this is not Black History Month, but I'm talking, you inspire me by standing here and listening to this. Women put in, 200 or 300 women, they put enough 300 in there. But men were stacked on top of each other and living in a fecal matter constantly. This is real history. This is the truth of what happened. So much so that we should have some joy today. For our ancestors who survived who survived. You know, if everybody you sit here, the people of color, do you know you came from strong stock? You know why? Because half of the slaves' men died, and only half survived. So that half that survived is your ancestors and my ancestors. That means you're strong. You've been through the storm. You've been through the rain. But I want to thank you because I get carried away when I get into the situation like this. I'm carrying out people here. And they sent a letter of thank you. You can read it later. Thank you, children. All my children stand up. All my children stand up. All the children of the church stand up. Oh, they went out. Oh, they went out. Okay. Well, when they come back in, don't y'all forget who these children are. They gave unto these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful children. And I just wanted you to see what they said as you leave.
This says, St. Library Indian School, they send a sacred circle. We honor Dr. Jonathan Greer as a member of the Century Society. Thank you for keeping the miracle alive for our Native American children and believing that education changes lives.
Oh, man. I got honored at my age to get inducted to the Secret Society circle. What's the name? So I'm so happy and honored to be adopted into that family. They want us to come see them, Pat. And we can maybe get a bus trip to go out there. A trip for the children next summer. Go out there and see them. And there's a little letter in there that one of the boys wrote to what kind of subjects he liked. Children of America, please take seriously your opportunities now. Because you have opportunities that a lot of these natives don't have. Some of them, you'll see it in the letter, some of them don't even want to go back home because they've been served so well for the Christmas season at the camp because the conditions at home are not favorable. Our children got their own room. Hello. And if they don't have their own rooms, there's just two of them in there. And I didn't have my own room. I had my own bed, but it wasn't my own bed. It was a bunk bed. I slept on top. My brother slept on the bottom. Because one time he was in the bed with me, and it wasn't working right. He was a kind of person that really was active in his sleep. Sometimes he'd get up and walk in his sleep and talk. I'm glad I didn't do that. Tell him himself while he's sleeping. Am I talking to somebody out there? Is anybody out there, Donnie? I don't get no amens. Oh, I forgot. Y'all younger than I am. I understand. You got better services now, you know. Because y'all got all the contraptions, you know. Y'all got YouTube and got everything else too. But how many of y'all are in the 60s and 70s and 80s? Hold your hand up. See, look around. We're not the only old people in here. We've got some company, young folks. And you stay around, you're going to join our club one day. I'm going to tell you one thing. It's only one thing you'll know. Just keep living, you're going to get old. I thought like you thought when I was young. I put my age up when I was growing up because I wanted to be grown. But when I got grown and got grown, I said, back up here. I don't want to be grown no more. That's not good grammar. slow the years up. I told my daughter, she said, Dad, on my birthday, I called her, 16th of November, she said, Dad, I said, you're 38, and she said, 39. I said, no, back it up now. Don't put yourself too high up in there. Time goes. Any of y'all got grandchildren? Let me see grandparents. Yes, you know, it'll keep you sober about your age, watching your grandchildren grow up. You'll say, good gracious almighty, what's going on here? And next thing you know, you say, my God, I'm older than I thought I was. You may not feel it, and I hope you don't feel it. I hope you feel healthy. But all of us that's in this season know anything happens any day in this body. And it surprises you. Where does it come from? It's the old temple. The temple is getting old. God bless you. Pastor D, come on and give us that great vision that God has given through you, like a dream book. Tell us.
Amen. As we continue to move on in our services, we're waiting for a few people to arrive, and it gives me an opportunity to come before you with something very important. Divine Love Fellowship, how many people still have your dream books? Yes. Have you been writing in them? Yeah, I had to blow the dust off mine the other day. I forgot about writing in my book, and so I wrote something phenomenal in my book the other day and thought, what an opportunity to come before the people before the year's up. This was the year of 2018, the Dream Book, and 2018 will be over in another week and a half. So what I think would be awesome for us to do is to pull out your dream book. And now that you've gone through the year, because we started this at the beginning of the year, and I noticed how some of the thoughts that I had have changed due to my experiences. So take out your dream book at least one more time and write down the most vivid, imaginative dreams for you, for your family, for your church family. And then God gave me an idea this week to keep this going, because probably we won't be writing in it next year. If you do, God bless you. But tear out your dreams out of your dream book. Tear them out and pass your dream book on to someone else. Give someone else a chance to dream. Don't let this book just sit. Let's pass the legacy along to someone else to dream. And you know, on watch night, bring those dreams with you. Pastor has us bringing some things, but bring those dreams that you have written down, bring them with you. And we can keep the dream before our eyes. We can keep the dream alive. Don't let it die. Keep it before your eyes. Pray on it. Fast on it. Seek God on it, but don't let it die. And then tear it out. Tear your dreams out and pass your book on to someone else and let them dream. Will you do that? Will you do that? Amen, amen. God bless you.
God bless you. Brother Leroy, I just talked to Brother Freddie. That's while he was singing. And I asked Brother Freddie, where is Leroy? And I said, check, you need to check on him. I'm gonna wait. She said, I'll check with Val and see how he's doing. And in a few minutes, he signaled to me that you're here. I'm glad to see you. This young man in ministry has come a long ways through sickness. And he's not an old man. And he has been singing for me for all the years I've been here, since 1977. And if you all have seen any of my videos, you've seen his face almost right behind me singing in the Shouts of Blessings Choir under the direction of Brother Maurice Culpepper. And he stuck with me when I left Cathedral, came over with me, him and his wife. And I was appreciating his son. God has done something to sustain him. And at his point in life, and at some of your points in life, you're living off of more grace here. The body is living off of more grace than actually you probably realize, because medical science can't keep you alive. And I don't care what medicine they give you, it can't keep you alive. I know who keeps you alive. And so do you. God keeps you alive. God keeps you alive, people. And when I said that, son, he's all over me. He's keeping me alive. And if he's keeping me alive, he can keep me well. Or put it like the saint said, well, reasonable portion of health and strength. Reasonable portion. There's nobody sitting here all perfectly healthy. I'm going to tell you that right now, in case you, I don't feel no pain either, but I don't mean perfectly healthy. Because you can't perfectly get health out of an imperfect body. You cannot get perfectly healthy out of a sinful body. And little did y'all know that you know you're Mr. and Mrs. Dust. Who am I talking today? I got, what? Am I members here? I said, you are Mr. and Mrs. Dust. You're saved by God's grace. You cannot boast of yourself because sin is in your body. And sin causes a sickness and causes discomfort in your mind. Sin is there. Paul said, in me there is no good thing. Then also when Jesus was addressed, good master, what did he say? Don't call me good. There's none good but the Father. That's what Jesus said. Now, I'm going to tell you something. When you start depending on the grace of God, you'll get somewhere. Amazing grace. How sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see. We are saved by God's grace. What's the difference in a saint and a sinner? A sinner that is not born again practices sin daily and allows his nature to operate through him to do whatever he wants to do or she wants to do. But when you talk about born again, you're operating out of a new mind, transformed by the grace of God. Let this mind be in you. Help me out, say what? Was also in Christ Jesus. Now we walk now no more after the flesh, but after the Spirit. That means what I'm tempted to do, I refrain from doing it because God's grace in me helps me to keep from doing it. It's not because it's not in there, but I bring my body under subjection. Least I become a castaway. God bless you. That's part of the message right there. I think that hand clap tells me you're ready to give. It is more blessed to give than to receive. And this is a good season to be given more, because we got a gift from God called Jesus, which gave us a gift of eternal life if we accept it. I want to tell you, it's very, very important that we teach our children about this season. That it's not about them getting gifts. It's about them getting in the spirit of giving gifts. Give, teach them how to give. Like our children do about the Indians. They sent gifts to them that will help them get school supplies and whatever else their needs are. So I want you to give an offering as unto the Lord, as the Bible instructs us. We give as unto the Lord, not unto man, not unto a church, but as unto the Lord. And when we give as unto the Lord, our gifts are accepted by God, and He returns it with harvest. And the more you give, the more coming back to you. You really can't beat God giving, because the more you give, harvest is coming back. And when He comes back with harvest, it's much more than you sowed. So people of God, bring your gifts. If you're not a member of this church, you still can give a gift to this church, to the ministry. Pay your tithes to the church that you are a member of, but you can give an offering today unto this church. Members of this church, tithes and offerings, you know what God asked you to do. Brother Cisse is standing for the children's mission. Brother Ed is standing for the tithes and offerings, and Brother Matt Billings is standing for your pastor's love gift if you want to give a love gift to the pastor. As you come, you'll anoint you with oil. Follow the instructions of our doorkeepers.